reveal too much. In fact, I knew him because of Toastmasters. He was a past region advisor for Region 13. When he was leading the region, we were the #1 region in the world of Toastmasters. How's that? Secondly, he was also the past international director who has served many, many people from all walks of life. Last but not least, wow, the list goes on and on and on. I won't be able to finish it within the next hour or so. So I'm going to keep my mouth shut and get you guys ready to welcome our esteemed speaker from Now How to Know How, distinguished Toastmaster Poh Kim Siong. Ladies and gentlemen, please send your virtual round of applause to welcome our esteemed speaker, Poh Kim Siong, distinguished Toastmaster from Now How to Know How.
Thank you. Division P Director Patricia Yap, fellow Toastmaster and friends from KL, from Japan, from Taiwan, from Singapore. And this afternoon, I'd like to take this hour to share with you from Now How to Know How. Hopefully, at the end of sessions, right, I'm able to help you to address 3 learning outcomes. Number 1 is how could you transform from an ordinary to extraordinary result. And the most important thing is when you encounter any challenges, how do you from know-how to become a know-how? And also to discover the true magic of Toastmaster International, what actually Toastmaster International want to offer you. And to start the session, I'd like to find out more. Why are you here this afternoon? Maybe I'd like to hear from Duncan. Duncan, why are you here this afternoon? You can unmute and share. Duncan, you are muted. Okay, maybe I hear from Betty. Betty, why are you here this afternoon, Betty? You're still muted. Can Zoom Master allow them to unmute themselves?
Yes, sorry, please give me a moment. Betty, yeah?
Yeah, Betty and Duncan. In fact, allow them to unmute themselves. It's okay. Because I like to have interaction.
I am here because when Patricia invited me, I saw, oh, Kim Siong coming. Straight away, I register.
Oh,
I am here because also the second reason, because all the advanced Ardent Club, so many of them are my good friends and they are my mentors as well. So when I hear this invitation, I quickly sign up. That's why I'm here. Thank you,
Betty. How about Duncan?
Oh, I'm here to hear what you have to say, and hopefully learn a little bit and try to apply it to my daily work.
Okay,
my daily life.
How about let's hear from Bessie. Bessie, why are you here this afternoon?
Well, I'm here. As a matter of fact, it's probably some reason for Duncan. As a Duncan, I would like to learn what I have to learn today. And also being a Toastmaster in this advanced club, I'm meeting, also polish my skills in my skills so I can help my home club in Taiwan. Thank you.
Okay, you're from Taiwan. Great to have you. How about let's hear from Wendy. What do you expect from this session, Wendy?
I certainly was very attracted to the topic itself.
Okay.
Now how to know how. So from where we are now, how can we actually transform or take another step to up our level? So I'm certainly very excited to hear more from you, Kim Siong.
Okay, thank you, Wendy. Let's hear from Louisa. Louisa, what do you expect from these sessions? Louisa have attended many of my sessions.
Okay, for me, whenever I try to tackle a table topic, I use this line, what, so what, now what. So when I saw know how, that is a very natural progression to now what. So I'm here to learn.
Okay, let's hear from my good friend Lucky, which I know him for 29 years as Toastmaster. We serve together as the district leaders. Lucky.
Always eager to learn new things, and especially from you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, let me show you this picture. What can you see in this photo? Recently, I just traveled to Malaysia.
Arrow.
Beside arrow. Pay attention to this.
Top trees.
Top three.
And there is a rainbow.
That
And
is a
there's a
rainbow.
rainbow.
Okay, precisely. That is a rainbow in this picture. The reason why I show you this picture is on the 22nd of June, my whole family traveled to Malaysia, Kuantan. When we cross over to the custom, the first thing my daughter noticed is, Papa, there is a rainbow. Well, in Singapore, it's very hard from my area to catch a rainbow. So with this rainbow, right, I'd like to offer you, how many colors is on this rainbow? Umi, a rainbow got how many colors?
7.
7. So this afternoon, I'd like to offer you 7 wisdom or 7 ideas where I have collected from Toastmaster International. And I hope these ideas were able to address the 3 questions where the learning outcome we want to achieve this afternoon. The first idea I'd like to share with you is, have you get more friends through Toastmaster? If yes, right, in the chat box, put 777. If yes, you put a 777. Have you get more friends from Toastmaster? Super 7. Okay, we have 777, Louisa, Bessie. Okay. And the other question is, I'd like to find out, in this Toastmaster movement, besides getting friends, do you learn something new? Have you learned something new?
Every day.
Every day we are learning something new. In fact, for the last trip I went to Malaysia, I learned many lessons. And I hope that today you listen to me and you take some good notes and ask some questions. And the most important thing is, so if some of the idea is applicable to you, do some action plan to implement in your club, in your area, in your district. Would that be okay for everyone? Okay, I see Louisa, yes, Umi, yes, Duncan, Mala, everybody is giving a hand gesture. So these 3 core skills. In Toastmaster, the first rule we need to observe is family first. And over the years, I come across many Toastmasters join. They are so engrossed to Toastmaster program, and they forget something called their own family. It's very important when we do any plan, always put in your family first as a first priority. And I'm very fortunate. I get to know my wife through Toastmaster. And over the last 29 years, the reason why I'm still actively involved, because I'm paying back to Toastmaster, because when I met my wife through Toastmaster convention, and we currently have 3 children, Cheng Yi, Cheng Heng, as well as Kylie. In fact, all of my 3 children, the names have special meaning. Like for example, my eldest daughter, Cheng Yi. If you understand Chinese, right, if it's called present smile, Jing Yi. Okay, and Cheng Heng, right, is having a power, you must learn how to balance. And Kylie, right, is winning is a form of encouragement. So these are my 3 children. When I plan any activities, right, like in fact, last weekend, there's many divisions is having their achiever celebration, having their party. And I have planned my family holiday in Malaysia. So I told them, family first. So all in all, whenever you involve in any Toastmaster activity, Toastmaster is not everything. Everything is not Toastmaster. Always get the priority first. Family will always come first. So this is the first tip I want to offer to you this afternoon. The second tip is always be openness to new knowledge. In the trip, we went to watch this fly at 9 p.m. And this owner called Hafid, he showed us how different type of fireflies. And the most important trick is he's managed to command the fly down to your boat. Not just one, from left side, right side. And his secret code word is, honey, please come down and meet your friends. Please come down. And all the fireflies flew down. And that moment, imagine total darkness and all the firefly coming down to your direction. And you're able to stretch out your palm and the firefly land on your palm. So as the whole boat ride lasts for 1 hour, when we reach back to the jetty, normally tourists would just alight from the boat and just leave. I seized this opportunity. If I want to find out what is the secret where he can command the firefly flew down, what we need to do is we need to ask. And Toastmasters and give us this power to ask the right questions. So I asked Mr. Hafid, would you mind share with us what is your code word managed to command the firefly flew to us? He said firefly also communicate in 2 ways, where they want to attract their partner or to send out warning signal as a fear to their peers. But I said, could you tell me what is the secret behind? Not just the code word, right? And at that moment, he revealed his secret. Would you want to find out the secret, how he's able to command the firefly?
Of course.
Of course, okay. What he shared with me is using different color of lights. When you use the blue light, the firefly will fly in. And you just need to wave the light to the firefly. That's why I wonder, before the start of the trip, Mr. Hafiz said, oh, due to light pollution, you're not allowed to take photo, you're not allowed to on the torchlight, you're not allowed to on the light. And the thing is, we are so amazed. We're sitting in the front of the boat, seeing all the firefly flew down to us. We didn't pay attention what he did. So one important lesson I learned and I share with my children is, if we want to learn anything, we just need to open our mouth to ask. Similarly, if you want to be a good leader, good speaker, you need to ask. You need to seek. And whenever you acquire some new knowledge and this new understanding, all this knowledge will be forever yours. So I challenge you, if you are going to be a club president, going to be a division officer, just ask and you have a lot of interesting encounter. There's a saying, planning to fail is failing to plan. For the past few weeks, some of the area director, president, division director, district leader asked me this question, Kim Siong, how do I plan for the new term? I said, what you need to do is to review what happened in your club, in your division, and all the activity. Have all the activity, list it down, and ask yourself this simple question. What are the activity I really like about this year or last year or the previous year? And what are the activity is not so attractive to members? So you need to start planning the right activities. For example, if you're going to build this resort, how are you going to build this resort? Wendy, if you want to build this resort, how are you going to build this resort?
Perhaps we need to look at what is the main purpose, what is the objective you want to attract these people or tourists to come to the resort. So from that, then you can plan what you want to put into the resort.
Correct. Besides that, the most important point is we need to have a plan. And you realize that whenever we want to build any building, the architect will put the plan on paper, drawing, and in fact, they have visualized the complete project in their mind. And we have instances where club leaders or division leader or district leaders want to build the club as a successful club. And they start doing. And they don't have a clear direction what they actually want. I recall back in 2006, when I was the district director in District 80, because I went to judge in the World Championship of Public Speaking and realized that the gap from Asian speakers and the American speaker is getting smaller and smaller. And it is possible for District 80 to produce a World Championship of Public Speaking. Back in 2006, we have this dream. I said, we are going to produce a World Championship of Public Speaking for District 80. And at that point in time, when we share this story, people start laughing. They say, are you sure a little red lot in Singapore can produce world champion? Guess what? When we put everything into plan and we carry out step by step, on 2014, we produced the first world champion in District 80. We doesn't stop there. 2015, and our world champion. And 2016, and our world champion finalists. And the best thing is all different persons. And last year, we also sent a finalist to the World Championship of Public Speaking. So the key learning lesson is, if you really want to build a successful club, a successful division, everything needs to be planned and have to put in on paper. The fourth is we need to accept our own imperfection and work towards perfections. In the past, right, I have this tendency, right, I'm worried to post something on Facebook. It maybe have some grammatical error, some typo error. Maybe I need to wait until perfect, 100% perfect, then I post. I realize that the more I post, the more I write, it sharpens my thinking skill. I have to deal with my own imperfection. And along the way, I also come across members say, oh, I cannot do pathway speeches because I'm not ready. There's no such thing called I'm not ready. I always remember 2001 world champion Dylan LaCroix, Kim Siong, never turn down stage time. If there's opportunity for you to step forward to present, always grab the opportunity to present. You cannot wait for to be perfect, then you start doing. So I will challenge you. Always accept your own imperfection. And the more you work, the better will become. So this is the number 4 point. So at this moment, just do a quick recap. What is the first point? Mala.
Family first.
Okay. So what is the second point?
Be open to new knowledge.
Okay. Let's go on to the 5th point. Okay. At this moment, I invite you to take a piece of paper, draw the shape of a tire. And if you're able to draw a shape of a tire, right, can you show it to me? How your tire look like? Lucky, draw a shape of the tire. Oh, Patricia, show me your tire. Okay, Wendy. Okay, I saw Wendy one is round in shape. How about Simone? Okay, I think also round in shape. So Hua is also round in shape. And anybody tire look like a triangle or square? Why? Okay, Mala is very good. Okay, most of the tire is round, okay, and seldom people tire is triangle or square. The one important message I learned from Toastmaster is, in fact, we don't need to reinvent the wheel. What we need to do is to make the tire better and make it innovation, work better, be innovative and make it work better. Because we have instances where sometimes when division, district or club, new leader come on board, what they did is they knocked down all the website the past leader built and build their own.
Yeah.
Have you encountered all this before?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky, okay. And what you need to do is use current website, strengthen it, make it better,
Right.
rather than you knock it down. In fact, to knock it down and rebuild, we always face this thing. At the end of June, the last 2-3 weeks, the leaders have this aha feeling. What they did, they wasted 11 months. So as leader, what we need to do is just try to find something where you can innovate it, you can enhance it, make it better. Okay. When you encounter challenges, where just now I share with you last. In fact, yesterday I drove about 7 hours from Kuantan, Malaysia to back to Singapore Custom. And I was caught in the jam for 1.5 hours. So after clearing the custom, I told my daughter, hey, Kylie, check the passport whether it got stamped or not. Because I heard that when the custom officer stamp the passport, 1, 2, 3. But there must be 4 stamps. Surprisingly, because there's people, the car behind start honking at me, I start driving. Halfway when I reached the causeway, my daughter Kylie told me, Papa, all 3 of us have stamp except yours. And if you know Malaysia immigration policy, right, it is an offense, right, if you don't have an exit permit stop. And you will land me in 7 free stay in Malaysia. They'll detain me for 7 days if I go back again. Okay, and it can also fine me for at least 3,000 ringgit. And the worst is they can bar me forever to go into Malaysia, which I just now share with you, right? I'm Malaysia's son-in-law. How can Malaysia government treat me in that way? But the most exciting lessons, right, what I learned from Toastmaster, right, is when I encounter all these challenges, all these problems, right, what we need to handle is our mood first. If our mood is not properly handled, you cannot really go and handle the situation or the problem. We have instances where people like to jump into the situation, to fight, to try to solve the problem, end up the problem never solved. The problem get bigger. So the first lessons where I learned from Toastmaster is handle our mood first. Come down, what is the logical step to do? So the first step is I asked the custom officer from Singapore, and they also give me a very vague answer. I said, you can go through Singapore Custom will not take any action against you. But if you go back to Malaysia, they may detain you, they may fine you, or they may bar you. So the first logical step, being a kiasu Singaporean, where protect myself, I make a police report first. And I realized that many questions, sometimes the authority cannot provide you the answer. Google is the best source. So first thing first, I Google passport not stamped in Malaysia. What can I do? So I found one of the website is quite useful and for me to take action. They call this number talk to the Malaysia custom and get the necessary. And through this lesson, I also realized the importance of communicating the same language. Luckily, my wife are able to speak in Malay. She's able to communicate with the custom officer in Malaysia. So they advise us quickly come back to Malaysia custom, get a passport stamp. So just suppose, when I realized that my passport is not stamped, I start scolding my daughter, start scolding everybody in the car. Will it solve the problem? The problem will be still there. So we need to handle our mood first. So in many area, many division, they will encounter challenges. So as leader, we need to manage our mood first before we go and tackle the problem. The last trick, I always encourage you to be a lifelong learner. Try to learn not just on public speaking. You learn from different aspects of the thing. And the reason why I share with this story, this PowerPoint, is not to show you that I can cover many kinds of applications. As leader, especially when you are going to finish your term, because you realize that the date right is 13 March 2021, which is the last 3 months I finished my term as the region advisor. So as leader, we need to plan for our exit. We need to occupy our time, okay, besides learning new things. Because we have instances where, just suppose Patricia is the Division P director. On the 30th of June, starting 1st July, she will realize that the number of emails coming to her is getting lesser. And you realize that sometimes where even if she attends some of the functions, right, new member ask her and talk to her, who are you? And she have this feeling like, hey, I just served 1 year as Division P director and nobody knows me. So the most important thing is all this, as leader, we need to prepare ourselves, okay? So one way is to learn different skills. And by learning different skills, right, you also enhance your own values. So today, these are the 7 tips I offered to our members this afternoon, and I would like to offer you 3 bonus tips. Okay, this 3 bonus tip is when I was the district governor, my boy Cheng Heng is due. So at that, just now I refer to the first point, right? I said family first, right? So at that moment, I'm serving the highest office in District 80 as a district governor. Now it's called as district director. And my conference is not in Singapore, it's in Hong Kong. So I'm having this challenge, right? Whether to go to Hong Kong to be the higher office in District 80, to chair the meeting, to have the conference ongoing. And I have an interesting discussion with my wife. Until both of us don't talk to each other. Because we have agreement, we have some disagreement, let's cool down before we talk. And one Sunday afternoon, she told me, okay, he said, father is coming from Kuantan, taking a bus ride to see you. When your father-in-law want to see you in Singapore and taking all the way a bus ride down to see you, right? You got to be worried. So at 5 a.m., I went to the Woodland Custom to fetch him. And just imagine, 2 men in our food court or in our hawker center ordering a drinks. And he ordered a Milo, I ordered a coffee. We start stirring. And my father-in-law asked me this question. So what do you intend to do? And luckily, when I face any challenges, right, I always like to refer to my own library. So I happened to pick out this book called 1 Minute Mother. And I found the solution, WIN. WIN stands for what is important now. So I wait. Toastmaster family. Family is always first. So I told my father-in-law, family will come first. I had contacted the world headquarters, Toastmaster International. If the DD is not there, who will go and who is going to chair the meeting? He said, don't worry, the second in position will take over. So with this understanding, right, I told my father. And my father, after having dinner the next day, he took a bus back to Kuantan. And my wife told me, father said you can go to Hong Kong to fulfill your duty. And my boy is so good in the sense that after I came back from Hong Kong convention, he was out on the second day. So sometimes we have to balance ourselves. Okay, this is first bonus tip. And the second bonus tip is the lesson from Kung Fu Panda. Have you watched Kung Fu Panda before, Umi? Okay, but do you learn any lesson from Kung Fu Panda? I learned many interesting lessons from Kung Fu Panda, because on that year, in 2008, I was running for international director in Calgary, Canada. And there's 3 candidates running for that position. And one candidate is from Mexico, #1 district, in ranking at #1 district governor. And the second one, right, is #5. And my ranking is #11. So just suppose you have a choice, 1, 5, and 11. Who would you vote for? Let's see. You're thinking very hard. Who will you vote for? 1, 5, and 11.
Take a middle one.
Take the middle one, 5. Oh, so, okay, how about Duncan? 1, 5, 11. You have to unmute yourself.
Okay, all right. Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about this one. I'd vote for all of them.
Most of them will vote for #1 or #5. Okay, #11, right, the chances is very slim. So on the way, the flight to Calgary, I watched this movie called Kung Fu Panda. And inside Kung Fu Panda, I found the important ingredients. There's this part, right, where the father of Kung Fu Panda revealed the secret ingredient in the noodles. And the Kung Fu Panda father told him, there's no secret ingredients. You just need to believe you are special. So with this in mind, right, you and me, we have some special in us. We always must believe that we are special. Okay, I think the time is up. The last bonus tip, we'll keep it. I'll hand over the control back to our question master or Mingpo.
Sokwa first. Go ahead, Sokwa.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much, distinguished Toastmaster Poh Kim Siong. Let's give him a round of applause. Are you enjoying all those wonderful tips from DTM Poh Kim Siong right now? Yes, I think we still want to listen more to him. And if you have any questions, feel free to personally message me or jot out in the chat box. Or even if you want to raise your hand to ask the questions to DTM Poh Kim Siong, you may also do so. Anyone wants to ask a question before we open to the floor? Anyone? You can raise your hand. Counting once, twice, thrice. Okay, so here we actually have the first questions from Noor Anwar, but then I would say that questions in particular, it's not really relevant for this particular session. So perhaps you could reach out to your club officers or maybe your mentor on how to start your first assessment in pathways in the beginning of your Toastmasters journey. So all the best, Anwar. And Patsy has a questions for Kim Siong.
Yes.
Please give an example of planning to fail.
Planning to fail. Okay.
Yeah. How we can do that? Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Planning to fail is failing to plan. So from the very first part, right, if you want to do anything, right, you need to start like for example, when I want to do all those education certifications, right, I have list down all the thing I'm going to do, the time, the cost. Similarly, right, in any clubs, where they want to achieve their 10 DCP or distinguished division, distinguished district, all these numbers, you have to list it down. If you take it for granted, like for example, take it as natural course, everything will just come in by itself. There's no such thing, because all the result, okay, you want to achieve, you really need to work towards the result. You cannot say, oh, I have 20 members, 30 members, or as a division, I got 25 clubs. The club will just drop from somewhere. There's no such thing. You really need to work towards the direction. If your division want to be a president distinguished division, you know that minimum requirement, you need to add one more net growth, 1 clubs. So you have to work towards the direction. And I have encountered many leaders, right, at this thing called LMK, last minute king. They just last minute try to rush everything, and hopefully they hope that miracle will happen. Okay, most of the time miracle will not happen at last minute. That's why in my club level last time I have this idea, right? We finish all our goals, right, by 15 April, because 15 April is Singapore where we need to submit our tax return. And 15 April is also the month when Toastmasters International, right, refreshed their dashboard after the April dues. I say if you finish all your goals, right, by 15 April, you'll be very happy, because your area director, your division director, your district director will leave you free to plan your own program. If you just imagine, right, you're still short of 1 goal, right, your area director, hey, you still got 1 more goal, please go and get 2 more members. Toastmaster is an enjoyable program. You're not supposed to stress yourself. So if you are able to finish your goals, right, I always encourage club division, right, to finish your goal in 9 months. The next 3 months is celebration and plan for the next term, because you must have some buffer time to regain. You just imagine, right, if every district, right, or every club, right, do until the last day, guess what? Next morning, when the sun comes up, new term begin. Are you going to run again? Even marathon runner, you need some buffer time. I hope I answered your question, Patsy.
All right, thank you. I can see that Patsy show a thumbs up. Thank you very much for that. And I think many of us, sometimes when we work with people that have this kind of last minute attitude, it's quite challenging to work with these people, especially if you are not that kind. So I think somehow we need to manage and try to put things through. And that's where we learn on how to manage that teamwork. Yeah. So I think, okay. Yeah. So I think the next questions from Malar is, could you share a couple of tips of what does not work when setting up a new club? Or maybe a couple of tips what will work when setting up a new Toastmasters club in your experience? Thank you.
Mala, that is an excellent question. We have encountered many members told us, oh, I need to ensure the club can survive for 10, 20 years, then we start chartering the club. Right or wrong? In fact, I don't accept this concept. In fact, every club have a right to try, because the key to victory is to try. You need to have the club to go through the process of trying the whole program. And you just imagine, right? If you I have some senior member insist that the club have to survive for 10 years, then they consider to work on the club. I say, ask yourself this question. Every day there's newborn, there's people pass away. So if you know that the end result, someone will pass away, right? Are you going to still produce babies? The answer is no. The most important thing is for clubs, right? Get a core team together, understand the whole sales cycle process. And we have encountered some of the sales process, right? As a senior Toastmaster, when you are in the so-called the demo meeting, right? you yourself as a Toastmaster, you feel uncomfortable. Why? You feel very uncomfortable because all the members is happily doing so-called their demo. And all the guests, all the potential Toastmasters, all the potential members sitting there wondering, this bunch of people, what are they doing? I cannot really understand what they are doing. So you, as leaders, we need to understand our consumer mindset, our potential consumer mindset, what is in their mind, what Toastmaster program can really offer them. So we need to take a step back first to really go and understand our audience. In public speaking, we always say, know your audience before you do a presentation, not showing people how Toastmaster program is run. To them, they got no idea. But the most important thing, they care how Toastmaster program can help them in their work life, in their community, in their family. So that is more important. So sell them on the benefit, how this can apply to their life. And just now I did mention, right, if you truly understand Toastmaster, what Toastmaster want you to achieve, is this simple word called confidence. If you look at the traditional program, right, communication plus leadership equal confidence. Pathway, right, they add in two components called management and interpersonal skill, but it could also equate to confidence. What Toastmaster International, right, the slogan, right, the tagline, right, where leaders are made, right, what they want you to do is, there's 3 levels of leadership. The first level of leadership is self-leading, self-leadership. You must be able to lead yourself to do speeches within the timing. If you're assigned to a certain role, be the best appointment holder, because the most difficult person to lead is yourself. So the first level of leadership is self-leadership. The second level is Toastmaster International want to encourage you to lead others, where you come forward to serve as a club president, area director, division director, and go up to district level to lead others. And what eventually Toastmaster International want you to do is to leading organization, not just in Toastmaster. They want to spread this benefit to more organization. So these are the 3 levels of leadership, what Toastmaster really want you to do. Having the confidence and develop your leadership skills.
Right, thank you, DTM Poh Kim Siong. I think that's a really wonderful message as well. Reminder that, in fact, the most important part in our life is how to lead ourselves rather than leading a team first. So thanks for that. And moving on, we have one question from Simone Nash from Taiwan. Yeah, can you share how mentoring has mattered to you as a top leader? About mentoring. So how does it matter for you?
In fact, if you really, in the past, right, they don't have a very structured mentoring program until Pathway came out. Pathway, there's a mentoring program, and personally, I am a beneficial for mentoring program, which I use the Pathway mentoring program, right, to mentor the area director for 6 months. So when you really go in depth, right, to understand the Pathway program. Pathway program really give you many wonderful insight. They have this 360-degree evaluation. They teach you how to plan, but chances are most of them don't really understand how Pathway works. And that, in fact, if you really understand the whole Toastmaster education, right, they encourage you to do 4 steps. The first step is to read and understand the theory inside the Pathway. That is the first step. The second step, they try to encourage you to think. Okay, think how this theory, right, relate to your own personal encounter, personal experience. And the third step is they encourage you to do speech, to go and do the presentation. Okay, and the fourth step is they ask you to do reflection. But chances are, we have some members just join Toastmaster, okay, without doing the first 2 steps, straight away they jump into giving the speech. Like, oh, icebreaker very easy. You just go and do a 4 to 6 minute introduction. They have missed the first 2 steps. It's like driving. Okay, you have not learned the theory, you have not learned the practical. Just get the car key and start driving. And they say, oh, pathway is not a good program. So I strongly encourage leaders, right? We must be responsible to tell members the right step, which means that read and understand, do some thinking to link back your experience, your own encounter, then present the speech. And the most important thing is reflections. So it becomes a continuous learning cycle, and you keep improving yourself. So in fact, Pathway mentor program helped me to mentor many leaders. I use all as a, I may not take the whole thing, but I always ask them, first thing first, plan what you want to do some reflections, and always ask yourself 3 questions. The first question is, in any event you attend, like for example, today's event, okay, what have you learned? What do you like? The second question you need to ask yourself is, okay, which area can I improve on? The third question, right, I always value the third question is, if I'm going to do the same thing, how differently I'm going to do. In fact, by asking this question in any event or in any speeches, the third question offers me many creative ideas to do better for the future event. So never underestimate the power of feedback. Yes.
All right, thank you. Thanks, Kim Siong, for that. I think not only you shared about your experience, but you also somehow promoted about the Pathways Mentor Program, which I think since right now it's optional, not many people embark on that journey. But I personally felt that we all should take that program as well, Pathways Mentoring Program. So I think due to time constraint, we need to wrap up the FAQ session over here. For those questions that have not been addressed, don't worry. At 1:30 p.m. later, Minpo will take over the Ask Poh Kim Siong Anything session. All right. Thank you very much, Kim Siong, and I would like to hand the control back to Patricia.
Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, our FAQ master Sokwa. Yes.
Before you end, let me share with you all the last story, which is I feel is very important.
The 10th tip, is it?
No. It's not the 10 tips.
Yeah.
Okay. How come like that? Okay. That's okay. Last one, right? How come this one like that? Okay, never mind. Okay. Maybe let me share you. Okay, on 26 August 11, okay, before any annual conventions, right, okay, I will send my wife back to Kuantan. And before we travel and any long trip, right, we always sleep very early. How do I mean by sleep very early? Because we got many work to clear. And that morning, I slept about 2 a.m. and we need to wake up early to avoid all the custom jam. So I wake up as early as 5:30 to make sure I beat the jam. So that morning, we start driving with my elder daughter, Cheng Yi. And Cheng Yi then was 1 year old. And my wife is taking care of my daughter. So after the first 100 km, everything looked fine. When we reached about another 80 km, which is 180, so set in. And I told my wife, beyond, I think let me take a rest. You drive, I'll take a rest. So my wife took over the control of the car. And what I did, I take care of my daughter. And my daughter Cheng Yi was 1 year old when you just think of hand take over, right? daughter start crying, not just softly, very loudly. As men are men, when daughter start crying, the first response is to hand back to the mother. So I make the logical decision, I hand back. I said, beyond, this one I cannot handle, I think I better handle the car. So my wife took over Cheng Yi to take care of Cheng Yi. I start driving. And at that moment, I didn't realize she changed the channel of the music to a soothing music. As 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and suddenly everything is so peaceful, so quiet. Suddenly I feel the jerk on my steering wheel. And when I opened my eyes, right, I saw the lamp pole is coming very fast. And the thing is, I turn back, my wife and daughter is sleeping. What I can do is I steer and shout as hard as possible. And the car just goes spinning. And it comes to a complete halt. And at that moment, luckily both sides, there's no vehicle. So I told my wife, hey, go back home, don't tell our parents. Or else later we are being banned to coming back or to hear anymore. So, but when you go back, lie on the bed, right? Okay, all these images start flashing back. And in the middle of the night, I jump up from my bed. I asked my wife this question: how much time do I have before I die? And she told me, you have enough time to make a difference. And you and me, when we joined Toastmasters, we have enough time to contribute to others, to make an impact, to make a difference. That's why when Patricia Yap invited me, said, could you come and share? In fact, it's quite last minute, 10 days. And nowadays I have this habit after every month, right, I only accept about 2 to 3. But because of Patricia Yap, I said, no problem. Because my mentor, Darren Lacroix, stage time, never turn down stage time opportunity. Even though this month, I've overshot my own target of 6 presentations. But the most important, if today, my sharing, the 7 tips and 3 bonus points can help you to find your own discovery, because Toastmaster is own self-discovery. After you go through the journey, you realize that you know yourself better. Okay, the strong point, the weak points, what you can do, what you cannot do. So I strongly encourage you, always try to do new things, where you can bring the club high, the division up there, or the district up there. Together, we can make the difference. The MAD say making a difference. So I wish you all the best, and I hand the control back to Patricia.